Hello, everybody. Welcome to Keighleycore, the tier list from MinnMax. MinnMax is a place about games, friends, getting better. My name is Ben Hansen, and I thank you for joining us on this very special day. I'm also joined by Janet Garcia.
Hello.
Also joined by the one and only Jeff Keighley. Take a bow, Jeff.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Oh, Jeff Keighley's here, everybody. This is New Show Plus from MinnMax. Each and every week, we let Patreon supporters at the $10 tier, the Backstage Pass tier, they get to vote to choose which new show we create or continue. And what won the poll this week is Keighleycore, which is an idea that Janet pitched, I feel like, a while ago. And we're going to get into those details in a second. But also, it was another tie for this big poll. And last time there was a tie, we fused the two ideas together. That's a lot of commitment to have us do that every time. So it'll be a special occasion if it's a tie for the New Show Plus poll where we fuse these things together. That being said, if you really love arcade adventures, I'll be talking about some arcade games on the MinnMax Show podcast this week. So I'm going to shoehorn some arcade talk in there. And that'll be like your arcade adventures mini dose. But Janet, I'm sitting back. I'm looking at Jeff Keighley. We're in the window of his beautiful Summer Game Fest. He comes alive. He comes out of his chrysalis, his little beautiful chrysalis a couple times a year, and he's about to turn into a beautiful Jeff Keighley butterfly with Summer Game Fest coming up, which we should point out.
He's the reason for the season, you know?
100%. But I'm going to let you pitch the show in a second. But first of all, I want to point out Summer Game Fest. We'll be covering it at MinnMax. I'm going out there for the first time to play a bunch of games, to go to these showcases, all that fun stuff. Janet will be out there. And then also, thanks to your support on Patreon, we're sending Charles Hart out there. It'll be his first time at a video game event, period.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people from Game Informer he hasn't met yet. He hasn't met a lot of people in the game industry. So he's going to be coming out there with us. We'll be making a travelogue of the whole experience to share it with you since you directly support it over there on Patreon. I think that's a fair trade. But Charles Hart, you might recognize, of course, as the master DM from the D&D campaign, the one shot we did recently where he knocked it out of the park. So hopefully there won't be any D&D out there because it's time for games in the summer in the heat, Janet. We don't get time for sitting inside and talking about power levels. But Keighleycore, Janet, what is this? What are we looking at? What do we need from the community?
Keighleycore. We are looking for games, upcoming games, not released games, that embody the essence of Keighley's coverage, for lack of a better term. You know, the stuff that he highlights, the stuff that he's like shouting out on Twitter, the things that come up on stage. Like when you think what kind of stuff could be there, what kind of stuff feels like it fits the bill. Yep. Boom. That's Keighleycore. And then we're ranking them on how Keighley it is, you know?
Because Keighley's got a lot of range, but it is really fun to, if you're a fan of the game industry, and this is what I love about Mr. Jeff Keighley and about the game industry is, and we have to refer to him as Mr. Jeff Keighley, please. Yeah. But he gets outraged if we don't. But
friend of the show.
I love trying to track like which publishers is he working with? Mm-hmm. You know, and like you can see like, okay, he's got a good relationship with these people, these people, these people. He's never quite cracked a steady relationship with these people, all this fun stuff. People are asking what day and time is the stream. That is happening for Keighley's stream. It's happening Friday, June 7th at 2 p.m. Pacific. I do believe is the time.
12 PT.
Oh, it's 12 PT?
Get ready to start converting, Ben. It's going to be time.
12 PT.
Carry the 1, the 2.
Yeah, we'll be out there.
It's 2 hours.
We need to figure out, you know, we didn't have a meeting this week because it was Memorial Day, but we need to figure out exactly what we're doing for the podcast. I think we should probably hold the podcast until after that. Otherwise, we're going to put out some really dated content.
You're saying we need to plan.
A little bit of planning. Well, that's not a calendar. It's a matter of a meeting. But, you know, we didn't want to have a meeting on Memorial Day. All right. Here we go, Janet. So we have suggestions from the community, and we're going to be placing those games on this tier list for how Keighleycore these games are. Because some games, they feel like Keighley, and others don't, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
We had people in the MinnMax community in the Discord, which you get access to if you're a supporter at any tier. We had people submit their picks for what is a Keighleycore game to put on this list. Now I'm going to just be sloppy with this this whole thing, but you tell me what you think about this, Janet. We had the Rogue Prince of Persia. It's an interesting suggestion. This is a good one because it's not slam dunk Keighley. It's a game that is technically released in early access now. How Keighleycore is the Rogue Prince of Persia?
I am feeling like the B or the C feels.
Yeah. I would. Ooh.
Maybe B, because I feel like it's of debatable indie. Because I already know, oh, is it a Ubisoft? I get it, right? Like, fight it out in the comments. Like, you know, indie / maybe not indie, right? He always has like a couple indie things that get the nod, and I feel like this feels very much like one that could get the nod.
Here's what's hurting it. It's technically out now in early access.
Yeah.
That's a ding for Keighley. He needs fresh, he needs new, he needs social media buzz. I feel like this game is on the social media buzz going down. It was in the III showcase. It was in another showcase. Was it the PlayStation showcase? I forget exactly what it was. But there were 2 back-to-back. I feel like this is a cool game from the Dead Cells developers, but it's kind of yesterday's news in the eyes of Mr. Keighley.
But doesn't he have like old stuff he brings out, especially with like updates and things? I don't know. I get what you mean though, because this is more like it's newly old.
Yes.
Instead of being like much old, you know, Among Us. Like I feel like Among Us is very like Among Us update is very Keighleycore, but I think you might be right that it's a little. It just became old.
Right. Like, look, Keighley would chop off his finger to get like the Pal World expansion or something on there, but Rogue Prince of Persia, I feel like this is D tier. With your permission.
That'd be fair.
Okay.
That'd be fair. Let's just start putting stuff there, and it will become clear as we slot.
Yep.
Like the vision will become clear. It's kind of like a puzzle. Like when you start, like, oh, that's the hand. Like that's what we're doing here.
That's Keighley's hand.
Yeah.
Okay, this is one.
I'm making a puzzle right now.
It said it was based. Have you checked out the new game called Lorem Ipsum Dolor?
No, man. Yeah, made by Annapurna, right?
Yeah, they could absolutely release that. Okay, this is a game that they said that Huber mentioned it on your stream where you play Revelations 2. But Lies of P DLC. Good question. This feels... Was Lies of P at a Summer Game Fest? I think it was.
I think it was too.
This feels B-ish to me.
I had to quickly hit the Google. Yeah, okay, Lies of P release date trailer Summer Game Fest. It was there 11 months ago.
11 months ago it was there. It was there.
That seems like a good B.
Okay.
That seems like a good B.
Yep, I love it. I think you're right.
Kelsey, friend of the show, on the show, says DLC is too unexciting for Keighley. But it's not necessarily how excited he is. It's like how much it feels of his essence. I feel his essence in the DLC, but maybe are we putting it too high? Should it be C? C for DLC?
I think C for DLC makes sense.
They have the same letters, so I think that could make sense.
Also, I think Keighley's essence, with all due respect, is how much buzz is this going to get on social media? If it was a game that was the opposite of Keighley's taste in every way, but he knew it would explode in a big way and he'd see a bunch of sick memes about it, like, that's good content. And if it Lies of P DLC, that's probably C tier hype. I don't think anyone's going to... It's not game of the show for anybody.
We can't discount the fact that, like, there are occasional, like, zag moments. And at the end of the day, again, what is it all about? It is all about the hype. It is all about the attention. It's about but it's also about, like, it's always a little bit about, like, goodwill, because people always want goodwill because goodwill helps you. So it's like, no one wants... That's why it's like that saying of, like, no publicity is bad publicity. That is so untrue. There's a lot of bad publicity. There's a lot of things that are just bad. And I bring this up because at the Game Awards last year, he showed off Big Walk. That is not a game that I think generates massive hype. Even though I think it's made by like a pretty good, like,
Untitled Goose Game developers. I think that's exactly it. Yes. Keighley saw those numbers and the social buzz for Untitled Goose Game, and he's like, whatever you guys are working on next, I'm in. I'm sure he was having those conversations for years and years and years. And so I think that's where that pops in. I think that game looks awesome, even if it's not exactly...
I mean, I think, again, this is not about the games.
Of course it's not about the games. It's just about Keighley.
It's about the essence of what the games represents. You know, this is like favorite game. This is like Keighleycore level.
Yes.
So would you put something like that just to kind of? I want to get a sense of where your head's at.
Yeah.
Would that rank like pretty low though? Because it's like you don't really expect it to be. Would that be like E? You know what I mean? Like is E and F like lower on the scale, or is it like so low on the scale like we're not even going to be really seeing this?
F, there's no chance. I feel like E is Hail Mary. Like if they hadn't announced Big Walk yet, and it was the next game for the developers of Untitled Goose Game, that's a solid B or an A. You know what I mean? But now I feel like putting Big Walk on there, I don't know if Big Walk's gonna get a new trailer there. The pop already happened for like the Goose Game people are doing what? You know?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Next one on here. This is a science. There's no doubt. Now, this is a game that I might need you to Google really quick, Janet.
Sure.
Okay, great. This, of course, is that time I got reincarnated as a slime. Isekai Chronicles.
All right.
Let's see. This is a game that it's a Bandai Namco game.
It always is. It often is.
I've never heard of this. It's on Steam.
I think that's like F, right?
Yeah.
Is that like, am I right? Because I just feel like there's not like an outward buzz or conversation about it.
I thought it was going to be a visual novel. It's an action RPG, apparently. Hang on. This game does look cool.
At the same time, though, sometimes you see, especially these sizzle reels that Keighley has, sometimes you just see something where you're like, I guess. Like,
yep.
And again,
it's usually in the ad section, but yeah.
I mean, are we counting ads, I guess, is the thing.
Oh, I don't think we can. Well,
I feel like ads are core Keighleycore. I don't know.
There's nothing more Keighleycore than ads. That's true. I guess.
Is it secretly really high?
God. Okay, Bandai Namco relationship. I don't think this is going to. Damn it! This does feel like an ad. Ads are core. Yeah.
Maybe we have to rename. Maybe A is ads. We just write ads.
Okay.
Like
Smart.
add DS to it and just gotta.
Okay.
I don't know.
I think that's smart. I think we got to do it.
Is that what we're doing? Like ad vibes.
Ads. Okay, so then, yep, perfect.
Also, to be clear, if you pay for an ad for your game, doesn't mean that your game is not good. I'm just looking at what's going on. That's all.
Okay. This is why this show won the New Show Plus poll, is because of this one right here. Because this is a thinker. This is galaxy brain level puzzle. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, it's true. If you think about the whole show as an ad. Funko Fusion. Oh, let's go, baby. I think that's pretty up there. I think that's pretty up there.
They already had their big trailer of like, we got Mummy, we have the Thing, we have Shaun of the Dead. They showed everything.
Well, I guess I get what you mean, because you're taking into account the repetition of it and whether or not that makes it less juicy.
Yes, people will be less excited about it. Therefore, Keighley's less excited about it.
Have the previews come out for that yet?
Yeah. Yep.
How were they?
It's all right. It looks like a Lego game.
I feel like I want to put that like the highest of the low. You know, is that C? Is that?
Yeah.
I think it can't be above Lies of P DLC. I think Lies of P DLC is pretty interesting, even though DLC is not interesting inherently. But I don't think we've accepted that it's not interesting. And when I say it's not interesting, I mean like it doesn't get eyes, it doesn't get traffic. If you do a DLC guide, no one reads it, and that's how you know no one is playing this. No one is getting into this. This is for the fringe of the fringe.
I don't know what we're doing.
Even if it feels like a lot of people play it.
Janet, this is the biggest slam dunk in the world. This is going to be an ad. Like, Keighley doesn't want to highlight it. They don't have voice acting in the game, so they can't bring actors out. But like, you think of an ad that'll run in between Summer Game Fest. Funko Fusion is 100% in that.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
I think that's good. I like it at ads.
Great. Now here is a good one. Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra. I think this is S tier Keighley.
What's the genre again of this?
They haven't shown gameplay, which is why I say it's S tier Keighley.
Yeah,
but
the gameplay reveal.
Gameplay, big reveal for this thing. Kind of action adventure seems to be the vibe of this thing. They've had a teaser trailer and then a cinematic trailer where the visuals looked really good. You know he goes way back with
I think you gotta
Amy
put S
Hennig.
because it's not ad and it's not B, so it has to be S.
Yep, I think that's exactly it. Yeah, I think I could see that opening the show, closing the show. It has big name actors in it as well. Mm-hmm. And you know Keighley can go out there and give like a nice speech about Amy Hennig. Like, it's everything lined up, primed for like, this is the time. Also, I mean, I don't think Sony or Microsoft is partnering for this game. So like, it's kind of left out into no man's land. And that's where Keighley likes to be, baby.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
When you're walking in the desert, who do you see? Jeff Keighley.
That's right.
Standing by the river. Is it a mirage? Is it real? You don't know.
And then you look.
Chat says, "Does an S tier game need a movie star to come out and introduce it?" I don't think it needs it, but it helps. And I think
certainly helps.
For me, S tier, you are picturing like some of those bigger moments. Because again, a big moment doesn't need to be like a banger. Like no matter how weak or how strong your showcase ever is for anybody, you still have a big moment, even if it's like not that good. Like it's like there's always going to be something. So yeah, I would say that's part of the recipe. Not required, but helps.
Certainly helps. Okay, next one. Thanks to the MinnMax community, by the way, for suggesting all these.
Yeah, these are great.
Here's a question.
Oh, I mean, I think that has to be S because of the hype, even though it's like it is an indie game, so that usually puts it pretty low. But she's not gonna get this. I think they've transcended like society. Like we don't need society anymore. We build our own society, which like shout to you. You know.
I think there's a good chance that Hollow Knight Silksong will win the write-in candidacy for the presidency in 2024.
I mean. There's a lot worse options.
Wait, worse options?
There's not always a good option for the presidency of 2024.
So here's the tricky thing.
Gotta be high.
I mean, this is high because Keighley sees that sweet pop. He reads these comments, these tweets every day. Like when Keighley drifts off to sleep at night, hunk shoo, he's thinking about, oh, if I could just latch onto that hype for Hollow Knight Silksong, that'd be the greatest day of my life. I would feel content for the first time in my life. At the same time, Nintendo laid claim to this. Microsoft laid claim to this. I don't know if Microsoft would let this hype go. Because remember, last time we saw it was them saying it'll come out within a year. And I don't know how Keighley would wrestle this out of Microsoft's claws if they have a little bit of that history here.
Don't forget what this is. This isn't, is it going to be there? This isn't odds scaling. This is how Keighleycore it is. I think this is S tier Keighleycore easy.
Right. Because of the hype alone.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like it is the like literally, and obviously like we're in the games industry, so we're not as in tuned with like what like a normie perspective is, because that's just not our perspective. Like we're in it every day. But like literally yesterday when I was playing Resident Evil with Michael, I was like, what are some of like the GOTY contenders that haven't like come out, like the big titles? Like I don't really think we have too many like, oh, this is gonna be like everyone's gonna like stop and check this out and see what it's about. And the first thing you mentioned was Hollow Knight Silksong. Yeah. And everyone does that. And part of that is the memes a little bit, but it is piping hot.
Yep. Yep. You're
like,
right.
They set us down in front of you at the restaurant. They're like, don't touch it because you will burn.
And like, Keighley's just grabbing that skillet and shoveling it into his gullet.
It is I cannot emphasize enough how big a deal this game is. I went to an anime convention like a while ago. No, not even anime. It was a sneaker con that happened to have some like anime stuff sometimes because they had like I think like a Japanese section or something like or whatever. I went to this convention, right? Someone was cosplayed as the little guy from Hollow Knight, and it had like a thing like, does Hollow Knight Silksong come out this year? And it has like a little panel, and people were interacting and voting. We're at a sneaker. We're like a few steps removed from games. Like we are several steps removed from games.
Yep.
And people are still pulling up. They're showing out. Like it is so in the culture. Like there's nothing hotter. It's nothing hotter than Hollow Knight Silksong.
I think you're right. It's north of Half-Life 3 at this point, which seems insane.
Yeah.
As an old head in the game industry, but it absolutely is.
Ridiculous. Like anyway, we gotta walk away from it. But it is unfathomable. I can't wait for this to pass just to breathe again because it's so everywhere. Like oh my god, yeah.
We all need to breathe. Yet for New Show Plus, people didn't vote for Hollow Knight Silk Songs, which was an option where Charles Hart was gonna create songs about silk. People didn't vote for that, despite all this hype. So come on.
Well, people don't like supporting. Actually, it's not true because this is what the whole show is like supporting independent creators. I don't know. Maybe they didn't think Charles could.
They doubted him.
They want spoilers for the game. They're like, I don't want to. I want to go in fresh.
It had nothing to do with the game. It was all going to be about silk, the fabric.
Just even it's too much. You ever have those people? I don't even want to know the trailer. It's like that kind of thing.
That's me.
It's like just the feeling. Yeah.
Little Devil Inside. Great question. Ooh, it's been a long time since we've seen this little ditty. That's it. Last time we saw it, maybe the last two times we saw it was a PlayStation thing. But you know what, Jenna? Again, this isn't
indie baby.
This isn't the odds of it showing up here. This is Keighley wanting it. How in the wheelhouse it is. So
honestly, I think
he'd be delighted.
I think he only wants it if it like. Does he really have something to say about it? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, is it release date?
Yep.
Because other than that, it's like, who cares? Like
I think release date, he'd be excited about it. I think he could have that pitch of like, the indie game you all thought looked great and it's been gone for a while. We've got it right here. Like he could do it. It feels C tier to me.
I think we need to put if this is like a date or just seeing it. Because if you're seeing it, I think it's just way lower. But if it's a date, I think it's like a little higher.
It's implied date.
Oh, I don't know. Chat's going from C highest, and we got a D, we got an E. I do think it's kind of like lost its cachet a bit.
Okay, is this D? It's.
I do feel like it's stuff. I feel like I'm interested, but like,
yeah,
people getting our asses getting out of the seats for Little Devil Inside.
I think there's
know.
like, look, the Xbox community, the Nintendo community, they're red hot on Hollow Knight Silksong. It hasn't appeared in a PlayStation showcase yet. I feel like this is a little bit of like PlayStation's lingering indie. You know, it kind of has a little bit of that buzz from that, even if people aren't freaking out about it. So, okay, D. I think D seems fair.
Maybe just let's leave it there. Maybe we'll move it up later. Maybe we're being too harsh, but.
Now here's one that I could use some help with, chat. I love that first Space Marine. Did you play Space Marine by chance? The first one?
I think you knew that before you asked.
I did, but I wanted to be cool to be like, I played it, Janet.
I appreciate you being polite. Like, oh, did you play it? Like, you know I ain't playing that. I don't even know what this is.
It's surprisingly good. Like, are you?
I'm sure it is.
Are you a Gears of War person?
No, not really. I played the first one. First one was fun.
Yeah. It was a cool Gears of War clone back in like 2011. Here's my question about Space Marine 2, chat. Have they shown gameplay? Could this be the gameplay reveal? Because I bet the gameplay looks awesome in this game. And I'm trying to remember.
People are saying a D/E. For me, I don't know how big Jeff is on the 40K stuff. Wallace says it really isn't. The game is just okay. They showed gameplay a long time ago.
They have shown gameplay.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. They could get Tim Willits, who went out from id and Doom to work at Saber Interactive to work on Space Marine 2. And so I'm sure you'd be excited to have him. But if they've shown gameplay, okay, this feels like D then. If they've shown gameplay.
Below that, I'm wondering about this DLC the more I look at it, though. I don't know how I feel about this.
I'm also having second thoughts. I think Space Marine 2.
Because a lot of the show is kind of like, it
feels like an ad, doesn't it?
I like that as an ad.
Yep.
I think it's a great ad.
I think it's a safe bet.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. There's a 40K showcase last week. Even more reason it would be a good ad. Yeah.
Yeah, where it's not going to make the start of the show. Okay, here we go.
Honestly, these would be like some of the more banger ads if these were actually ads in the show.
It's going to be a lot of mobile.
Funko Fusion looks okay. I don't know. It's co-op too, right? Funko Fusion?
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
4-player online co-op. I'm excited to have a new version of the Thing game.
I'm tired of online. I'm so old. It's like one of my oldest takes. I hate online co-op. I don't want to go online.
Okay, here we go. Avowed. It's a great question. Now, this is going to be... Microsoft has to be hot and heavy on this for their showcase. And so that alone, I'm sure Keighley's like, look, they're going to go all in. I can't put all my chips on Avowed. That said, I could see it being an ad. I could see Microsoft being like, of course, we'll pay you to have it in the show somewhere.
It definitely looks like an ad, yeah.
Okay.
I'd say A or B. Ad or B.
Okay.
For people who are just coming in, we are ranking how Keighleycore the upcoming games are. Like, how much are they the essence of his showcases and his platforming? That's what we're ranking.
Just to be clear, not the likelihood they'll appear, but how much in Keighley's heart of hearts does he want these things during the Summer Game Fest?
Avowed is D? You're wild. You're wild. Again, it's not how good the game looks. It's how much it be like. Let's not get confused.
Ooh.
Yes, but here's the thing. I get Avowed confused with Forspoken. That's exactly what makes it like hot for this kind of show. It's like okay. I'm sure there's a lot of great people working on Avowed. Maybe Avowed's gonna be awesome. I don't know. It's got that generic look to it that screams these kinds of showcases. I'm sorry, Avowed. Like I look at you and I see Immortals of Avium. I see a lot of games that didn't pan out.
However,
maybe for you it'll be different. I don't know.
Do you remember the key art? Do you remember how freaking good this key art is?
Hell yeah, I do the biome key art.
It's so good.
I'm not a fan.
You don't like it?
No, it's just it's okay. Here's the thing.
Four
Avowed
biomes?
Is screaming
Are you
like,
anti-biome?
We made a little bit. I'm tired of people being like, we have biomes and making that like one of the biggest points of what makes their game interesting. Having biomes is not inherently interesting. Doing something interesting with your biomes is what makes them interesting.
Janet, I don't know if the takeaway from this is we have biomes. I think it's just, this is metal as hell. Do you think the core takeaway that the artist wanted you to have is we have biomes in our game?
I think they were told how incorporate that kind of like fantasy aesthetic with the biomes that we have. And this is what they came up with.
It's not bad
art. It's not like it's ugly, but it reminds me of like this dropped right after they had showcased their gameplay, of which one of the big things is we have biomes. And also, sometimes you make a choice, and sometimes the choice can be kind of good. Sometimes you don't really know. And I'm like, I wish you had different talking points, personally.
Yep, I'm rooting for Obsidian. I like a lot of those folks on that team. It's a lot of the team from Outer Worlds who moved over to it.
Yeah.
Maybe it not feeling
I don't
hot
know.
about it.
It did not sell me. I'm not gonna. I didn't buy it for me personally. I'll pull up, but I wasn't buying it. I don't know.
71 on Metacritic. All right, here we go. Next game.
76 easy.
76 easy.
Yeah, I think so.
Elden Ring. Shadow
Without knowing anything else, the key art in like two clips. S.
This is S. Yeah.
S. Easy S.
Keighley wants to eat this S.
Easy. Well,
we're gonna put it right there.
Every day you push a little farther.
Have you noticed? So, like big gameplay debut.
Anything. People, just Elden Ring in general. It's just it's so juicy right now, and it's also one of the biggest things really dropping. A lot of people like to get mad is the thing on the internet, Ben. But a lot of people have gotten angry that I said like it's like a quieter year for like PlayStation proper, like first party, and they're like, how could you say that when I'm like, all right, guys, every year there's great games. But there's like the big stuff on the calendar that people are putting out, and this is like a more of a third party kind of year. And Elden Ring is like one of the big carriers of like, even though it's DLC, I think this is one of the rarities that like people don't do guides for DLC. They are 3,000% making guides for this DLC. 3,000%. And they'd be done not to.
Yeah.
Hot in the streets. That's how you know how hot it is. How hot are the guides?
That's interesting. Yeah, that probably says a lot. I think Keighley's going to be all about it. Yeah, they have had 2 trailers. They haven't had the big, like, here's a demo of just one boss fight from Shadow of the Erd Tree, and I think Keighley would eat that up. Absolutely.
Easy win. And it's funny because it's like you kind of, with DLC, it's like you already know that you like it. Mm-hmm. And also, too, Keighley does have a history with DLC that, let's not forget, that's where we saw Horizon's DLC.
Yeah.
That only me and Jeff got excited for, but like me and Jeff were out there, LA baby, burning shores.
You were pumped. Okay, this next one. Oh, this is interesting. This is what the show is made for. Black Myth Wukong. How pumped is Keighley to have this? So if you don't recall, it was at Gamescom 2023. It looks good.
I think this is okay.
It looks good.
This is like pretty high, I think.
We've seen several trailers for it.
But yet I keep forgetting what it is.
Same here.
It's time to see one more, like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
another Soulsy game. I feel like this could be
another ad. We can't just put everything in ads.
It feels addy. It feels addy to me.
I don't know. I think it does it have like a, is there someone you can bring on stage for this? Like
no,
not really. I don't know. I'm thinking B. Chat's a mix.
Yeah.
We have everything from S to C, but we mostly have on the higher end, like the B's and a couple like A's and C's. Yeah, I think B.
You think B? No? We've seen it several times. If it's like
B for Black Myth, like
okay, what we got the ranking of like how
something
much
has to be in B. Here's the thing.
I know we just haven't hit it yet. We just haven't hit it yet. I feel like this is C. It's lucky it's not getting into the ads territory. I'll tell you that much. I feel like we've seen it several times. It was at the Gamescom show, which is, Keighley's third choice for where these games go. It didn't pop big Gamescom. It's not going to pop big Center Stage Summer Game Fest, I'm afraid.
For chat, ads totally should be lower than A. We just put it there just for the haha, it's the letter. Like it sort of lives in its own territory. It's not necessarily like it's more exciting than B, but it's just like, yeah. And then for ads too, I think what we're kind of going with the vibe is, hey, listen, I don't know if I can, really slot you in. Like otherwise, like it's like that kind of feel where it's like these are games that I think totally make sense for like the breadth of what Keighley highlights, but they might not make sense for like having individual placement against other things. So it's like, how can I place you without placing you? An ad.
Yeah.
Like that's where those all kind of. I still feel like Avowed could pull up on its own though. Maybe Avowed should be B.
No.
Why not?
Because Microsoft is going to have it.
I'm an ass for not liking the key art. Come on, Ben. Put your money where your mouth is and slot that thing in B.
The more I learn about like the payment structure for Keighley's shows, I feel like you could write a book just about this because it's not as clean as like, okay, you pay money to be on the stage. It's like, well, no, you pay to have the ad run, obviously, but then a lot of these games, if Keighley's hyped enough about them, they don't have to charge to get on there and show their trailer there, obviously, right? Because well, it's an honor. You're doing us a favor. But that middle ground in between that gets really complicated for like who is paying who and why. But anyways, okay, here we go. This is a good ambiguous one. What if there was an unannounced game in here, Janet? Where would Keighley put a new Mega Man game?
Oh, God. I mean, more people mad. Mega Man's kind of dry, no? Like,
what did you say to my face, Janet?
I know. Your old, decrepit face. No,
my wrinkly, saggy
You're
face.
aging. Yeah, the spell's broken, and Ben actually becomes 80 years old in this moment.
Mega Man!
Oh, my God. Right,
okay.
Say MG11 was super successful. Again,
super successful. I like that game, but
there.
let's not get nuts for super successful.
I'm putting a feeler out there. Because here's the thing that I've noticed. A lot of y'all will be like, oh, that I'm rude or mean, but you won't say I'm wrong. Interesting.
Yep,
It's like,
true.
Am I wrong?
Okay, look, Mega Man 11, I was at the baseline for that. Like, did we announce it with the Game Informer cover story? Or but we had a whole feature on it. Went out to Osaka, learned all about it. It did slightly better sales-wise than they were expecting, but I think it would be like 1.5 million. Somebody pull up those stats for me, please.
Is this our B?
This is a great B. Because I don't know who else would show it. Capcom, I don't think, has like a showcase. Okay, Mega Man 11's at...
Unsubscribed. We're losing people left and right.
Look, if
it makes you guys feel better, I'm really bad at Mega Man, and that's why I don't ride with Mega Man, because I can't figure out the timing. If it makes you feel better. That is genuinely why I don't like those games. But also, they just don't have S tier?
If it was Mega Man Legends. If it was Mega Man Legends, it'd be S tier. But
I just feel like there's not, it just ain't generating the buzz it used to. I just think, I don't know.
I think Keighley, he knows, like, hey, I could wow all the old school gamers in here by saying Mega Man 12. Like, I think he'd be into it.
There's just the cachet of new. Like, what's the beauty of new is, like, no one can tell you it's bad. And that's why, like, people can get like, oh, like, what do you mean? What do you think? It's like, I can't really tell you one way or the other whether something's going to be good or bad because it's new. You don't know. So it's like the beauty of the unknown. B for beauty of the unknown.
Yep. Love it. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Okay, this next one. Ooh. Now this is interesting. First blush is big, but I don't know if the second blush is as big.
Ooh.
So this is the new game.
Kelsey did mention the Jeff in Persona.
What about?
Which in Kelsey's word that he just figured out Persona was cool a few years ago. But
ooh, interesting.
Not mine.
No. So that's the thing. Is like from the Persona team, hot. You could have. Does he have musical acts? He does during Summer Game Fest. If you brought out a band.
Does he?
Yeah, because remember Aerith sang last year?
No, that was the Game Awards.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Where are you, Aerith? Okay, so maybe not. Maybe there'd be a Game Awards thing.
Yes, it's new, right? Like,
but they just had a showcase dedicated just for this not too long ago. This one is confirmed, I think. 2 from Atlas will be on the stage, says Yujuin.
B for the beauty of the unknown. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, and it's like that
so.
Game does have, it has hype from those who know. And I think even if you don't know, it still has the cachet of the name, and name cachet goes really far in gaming hype. From the makers of thing you loved and built your life on. Oh my God, I have a new identity. And then sometimes it doesn't work out. Actually, a lot of times it doesn't work out. But for that brief moment, you're like, maybe this could be different, And that's nice. That's exciting.
Okay, I think it would get the bump. It's bordering on ads, I think. It's coming out this year, right? But I think...
Yeah, it could easily be an ad. But I think
Keighley would be interested a little bit.
It's hotter than I think the things we've slotted in ads.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like, especially too, and this is a weird thing to pull because, again, we're not, like, really, in a way, the target audience for, like, the content in a weird way. But, like, this is a game we would talk about. I feel like B is, like, game we would talk about on the podcast, almost. Like, that's almost like we would definitely cover a new Mega Man game. Like, not everyone would, but, like, we would.
Everybody would. What do you mean nobody would? Everybody would freak out about that, Janet.
I don't know how much cover. Like, I don't know. Maybe. Sure. I don't know. People have taken time out of their week from their weekly shows to go. Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know.
If they announced Mega Man 12, yes, they would talk about it on gaming podcast.
I guess you have to.
Here's a conundrum. Oh, by the way, someone say Metaphor is already locked in. They already confirmed Atlas is going to be there. That's true, but this isn't the odds of it appearing. This is how much Keighley is excited about it.
It's like how much it feels of the essence of the show.
Yes, thank you.
But people say you should call the Keighley essence. I don't know. We don't have everyone at the meeting, unfortunately. Is the problem?
But we should. All right, Duck Detective.
We get your good ideas too late. Sorry.
Now, Janet, this is a game that you like.
It came out already.
Just came out. This feels like an F territory for me.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's no way this is coming. Come on, y'all. Okay, I know what game you were playing when you pulled this. We will talk about Duck Detective on the podcast. Like, okay, like it's coming. It's coming. Actually, will we? I don't know. I'm not on this week.
I'm
but
sure we will
it's a good game.
I'm sure we will.
We'll talk about it. It's a good game. I like the game a lot.
Silent Hill 2 remake. It's a good question. We've seen a decent amount of it. Last trailer. S tier?
I don't know. It's got like the. Here's like E. Come on. Here's the thing. There's a lot of people know the name. Okay, here's the thing. Because it's like people know the name Silent Hill. And that's kind of all that matters. You know, like. The people locked in who like know everything about it are gonna be following this anyway because they're so locked in.
Yeah.
And the people like me who don't know anything were like, "Oh yeah, is this supposed to be good? Is this gonna be bad? Like, what's this? What? Like, I think it's pretty high."
Here's the thing.
B for Bloober, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind, Silent Hill is having a showcase this Thursday, so Keighley's they're probably gonna be showing as much as they can show.
Juice, yeah.
I think if I may, Janet, if I may be so bold.
An ad.
Are we gonna get an ad for Silent Hill 2?
I think this is too bougie of a thing to get an ad.
We've already seen it. The bouge is off the rose.
Yeah, that's why you pay for the ad. So it's like, maybe, but like, I don't know, Bloober with an ad? Like, I think so.
I think so.
Maybe they're not bougie enough to have the ad. Because like, I don't know, like, I feel like the Medium wouldn't have gotten an ad. I know this is like, oh, it's got the IP power, but like.
Yeah. I feel like it's ad territory. We've seen it multiple times. We've seen like 3 trailers for it, and there's a showcase the week before. That's ad territory.
Yeah, Lorch. The reason we're like bringing it down is because of the showcase the week before, where it's like it loses some of its cachet. Yeah. Like on its own, it's there. Like which I guess it gets a little confusing with the. You guys can follow along. You're doing good. You're doing good.
It's a scientific exercise. The Altars, 11-bit previews. What just went out for the Altars?
I'm so excited for this game.
Yeah, it looks great. The demo they had at the Triple I showcase looked awesome. It seems like a tough one for Keighley to show off. It's a little systems heavy for Keighley, if I may. People are saying
this is that weird one with the clones that have the personalities, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's
cool.
It would
be so bad if that wasn't. I'd be like, oh, never mind.
I feel like Keighley says, that sounds great. I don't know if it's going to pop on stage at all. This feels like It is so hard to pop that on stage. I mean, in their defense, though, like, that is how I learned about it, and I think they did a good job, like, explaining what the game was and showing what made it interesting. Okay, I don't know. Maybe I'm getting maybe a little too sensitive because I think the game looks so freaking cool. It looks great.
And who makes it? Who are the makers?
11-bit
publisher.
Yep. Frostpunk. They're also making this War of Mine.
It's new too. I think the new brings it up pretty high. Like I know, chat threw a B out there.
No way. Show me.
It's still new.
Be Jeff Keighley right now presenting the Altars on stage. What's the pitch?
He just quietly shows the trailer and then we keep going.
That sounds like an ad to me.
I don't know. It's just like a sizzle reel. As for honestly, we're not gonna rename them because I want to leave S as an S. But S for sizzle reel would also have been very funny. See, here's the thing, Snake. It's not about does Keighley care about indie games? It's what will he show? Again, none of this it's all business, baby. It ain't personal. Mm-hmm. I don't know what he's rocking in the dead of night. I don't know. We don't have the science. We know he's shown indie stuff before. It's like what is the late?
It needs to be new. We've had multiple trailers.
Yes.
For this, we just did a big preview for it. People flew out to Poland to check it out. I think it's
so
low.
Cool looking.
It looks cool.
It looks so cool.
I think we've seen it.
It's new.
It's new. We've seen it, but at the same time, there's no cool like jaw-dropping demo that can be on stage for it. I feel like you roll the thing around and it's a cool systems heavy game. It's not gonna pop, and Keighley only pops.
I think just to add to what you're saying, even though it does pain me because you're probably right. Like I guess it doesn't. It's funny because like if you have enough clout, you can get away with like more of that kind of stuff. Because think about Starfield. It's like one of the most systems-y things, but like they're the big show. So it's like, we're going to get like the time and the spacing. When you don't have all of those other things, what do you have left? A lot of things to say and no one knows who you are in a way. Even though, again, Frostpunk, people know that game and that team, but like I'm using these as more, a little bit more hyperbolic just for the sake of the point, for the sake of the argument.
Okay.
Yeah, you're probably right. But I mean, down with a
let
little
it go.
devil inside.
Let it go.
I
Let it go.
know.
Let it go, Janet. Ultras is D. We have to live and face Keighley's truth.
All right.
Okay, here we go. Next one. Monster Jam Showdown.
What would they show? I don't know. That feels like That's new, right? That's that
It
game
was,
where you're like, that looks cool.
Yeah,
Like
it was during the
trucks.
Xbox event.
Yeah.
They showed it, and everyone's like, "Oh."
I don't think they got the money for the ads. Is the thing. Which also too, I am starting to think Silent Hill remake. I don't know if you have the funding to.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's true. Very expensive. I've said it before.
I guess
just for a cryptic tease, but I was talking to somebody about these Keighley shows, and it was one of the best games of the year recently, and they're like, we couldn't afford to run an ad. But unquestionably one of the greatest games over the last couple of years, and they're like, we just couldn't afford a Keighley ad. It's crazy.
But that is crazy and unfortunate, but like that's like, those are almost always like opposite in a weird way. Like some of the best games ever are like not rolling in it, you know?
This game very, 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 very much was after its release.
Felt like it was rolling on it? Okay.
Oh, it's as big as it gets.
Take down Silent Hill 2 remake then from ads. I don't think they're gonna have the cash for that.
Okay, but
did you play the medium? I did. Like I don't, it's like it's
all
Silent
of
Hill.
Konami
I'm sure
doesn't have. Okay.
Maybe Konami is like fronting the money.
Well, it is. No. Yeah, I mean, Konami is publishing it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, but also like, just because it's like, it's kind of giving like, I'm not rich, my dad is rich, like, but like sometimes he doesn't give you the money to take the bus. Like, I don't know. Like,
I think Konami would fund this. The question is, would Keighley take Konami's money after everything they did?
I know. I had a few in my chat asking about that. I don't think it is. I think again, at the end of the day, I think it is all business. So I think it's kind of like when people were saying, God, what was the thing? They were like, well, so-and-so get mad between these celebrities because doing a Skims advocate, the Kim stuff. It's like people are just making deals. People just are getting money and getting paid. I don't think that matters. You know what I mean? I don't think it's like, I don't think Keighley's memed love of Kojima cuts through making money. You know what I mean? Like, especially for like something kind of innocuous. It's like,
sure,
no, I don't
sure. That's why it's ads territory. If, maybe Silent Hill 2 would have a better chance on stage if Keighley was still kissing Konami butt. But Monster Jam Showdown, it looks great. This feels like F or E. I think E, realistically.
It's like pretty small of a game, right?
It's a small game, looks cool, but come on, what are we doing here? Let's be realistic.
Yeah. I think that's good.
God, how did I forget until this beloved day that the name of the game
is getting spicy.
Yep. Death Stranding 2 on the beach.
We already know. Light work, baby. S tier.
I guess so.
S tier forever.
It's got to be. Yeah. I mean, that last video was like 11 minutes long, but...
Is it actually called this? No, right? Death Stranding 2 on the beach?
Yeah. I forgot that's what they called it. Yeah.
No, you're joking.
No, that is the official name, right? Am I forgetting this?
No, is this real?
Yes. Yeah. That's the absurd part. I also forgot that it's called On the Beach. Yeah.
That is so funny. I love that. That's great. That's so exciting.
Kojima, you're so funny.
How Lana Del Rey of Death Stranding, like, what is this? Like, this is so funny.
Okay, this one, another good question. This is fun. You know who'd be really good for this if he wasn't in the loop? This show was made for Kyle Bossman. Like, this is his bread and butter. He knows this stuff.
Is Kyle back in the loop?
The Keighley saddle?
Coming back, yeah.
For us or for Keighley?
For Keighley. I don't even know. What does he do for Keighley? I just knew that he walked on stage and told me what the emergency exits were, but I don't actually know what his job was.
He goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Keighley," as he jumps on the stage. The host of the Game Awards. Yeah, he writes...
probably more than that, though.
He writes stuff. I don't know. He's technically like associate producer or something. He's talked about it a couple times. Great job over there. Okay, here we go. This is the fun one. Batman Arkham Shadow. This is such a good question. Facebook's got the money. This is a meta game. Keighley, you want an Arkham game?
Bucks.
Like, wouldn't it be cool to have a VR game somewhere in your showcase? If it's going to be an impressive demo? People are saying ad. You think Keighley's over VR? This is a great question. Is Keighley so over VR that Facebook connections, because you got to think, head of Facebook Gaming is Jason Rubin, co-founder of Naughty Dog, goes way back with Jeff Keighley. They got some buddy vibes there. On top of that, you can have an Arkham game in your show, gameplay demo, PSVR 2 announcement, people say. Ooh, that makes me wonder if it's going to be in the PlayStation Showcase. But no. I think Meta's going to focus on it completely here. I feel like this is the spot. It's just a question of, is this ad territory or not?
I think you leave it at B, but what's so tricky about this one is...
Oh, B.
And this is the tough thing. Yeah, even though, but no one cares though. So is it C? Because just like no one really cares. Because here's the thing.
Yeah.
What's the hard part of even showing this is you have to quickly be like, hey, it's VR. Don't get too excited.
Yep.
And like that's such a rough spot to be at. And every VR game that has like known IP is in that situation. So maybe it would be lower for that reason. But it's still Batman. And I feel like Batman does have like the cachet. This is kind of Batman, the game Batman Arkham Shadow, because it's a VR game and because of where VR is in the industry, is kind of like it's giving Monkey's Paw. You know, it's giving Make It Whack. It's like, oh, it's Batman game. Oh, but it's VR. It's like,
yep.
I don't know.
But there's something.
Too high? I don't know.
I'm sure they've had these discussions, which is the fun part. God, I think, yeah. If it looks good, like I like Camouflage, the developer. Iron Man VR was solid.
Ooh, spoilers. Snake in the chat says, LOL, on the Batman MetaQuest page, it says, tune in for the world premiere of the cinematic trailer at SGS. So we do know it's going to be there.
All right, so Keighley wants it there.
Again,
all right.
To clarify, though, this is not if it's going to be there. It's how of the essence it is.
Yep.
Maybe then that B's a good spot for it.
We've been swayed, even though we said we wouldn't sway us. Yeah, I think B's right. Okay, this is one that I have no sense of. College football.
Okay, go ahead. Oh, that's so messy. EA. This is people are so excited.
Yep.
For college football to be back.
Yep.
So excited.
Yep. But what is the last sports game that Keighley highlighted? People say biggest game of the year. I just don't think Keighley will get excited about like racing games. He'll do, but feels like a favor. I don't know about college football on that big stage. But then again, they don't really have EA isn't having a press conference, right? They don't have anywhere else to go.
I feel like it's kind of exciting. So I think B. The reason I don't put it at S because I know like it's funny, people are so like of the range here. We have a D and we have an S. It's like almost as big of a gap as you can have. But it is exciting. I feel like this is actually, you know, to all the sports haters, this is a bit of actual newness. You know, it's not just like the iteration of the new FIFA or the new EAFC because it's not called FIFA anymore. You know, it's like. And I think this is a time to highlight like what is different about it, like what makes the college game unique to like pro level of EA's football division.
Do they have?
I think it's a good spot for it.
Yeah. Do they have a bunch of mascots come out on stage? Is that the way you make it exciting?
That would be fun. I do honestly like the rush of mascots is like can't be overstated because I did a little like charity walk where at the end you like walk through a little tunnel with a bunch of mascots, and I'm like, this was very fun. So, no, granted, you can't make everyone in the audience do that, so I don't think it translates as well on stage.
Right.
But, like, I don't know. You can have, like, a funny gaff, like, I don't know if you'd want to have to catch a football live on stage, but someone could throw a football at Jeff Keighley. Like, you could do that. You can dress this up, you know? There's a vision.
Hang on.
That's S, but I'd be so scared to that. I would be really scared I'd drop the football.
Yeah, there's no way
Why?
Keighley...
You don't think he would...
You think Keighley would voluntarily catch a football on stage? Are you out of your mind?
I mean, maybe he like has more confidence in his catching ability. I would not. I would be too afraid that I would drop it.
Everybody would. And Keighley, I'm sure he's a confident man, but you say, "Hey, I'm going to toss you a pigskin, Keighley." How down are you for that? He's
going to throw it in like a, you know.
He's not going to do it.
Like they would practice it. Like
no,
I don't know.
Also, they say he's Canadian. Yeah, he'd have to catch a Canadian football, which no one knows the shape of those things. Okay, this is interesting. This is just
you throw a football. No, because you hurt somebody. Yeah.
You wouldn't do it.
You're probably right. It's down there with Duck Detective. But man, if we lived in that F tier life, how fun would life be? You know, you and Duck Detective and Jeff catching a football. Fun.
Yep. Or if these are just the ads, we swap the F and the A, and there's just an ad for Jeff catching a football. Okay, here we go. GTA 6.
No, S tier.
S tier, but obviously not going to be there. I would love to know the pitch that Keighley gave to have it there. It'd be the biggest thing in the world, but no, they're the. Like, how many people are above Keighley? Cool.
What do you mean?
Games that are like, we don't need you. It's like almost From Software and then Rockstar.
Honestly, a lot of Nintendo stuff too. I think. Here's the thing. I think. Need is such a strong word where it's like, oh, I need to be at this place. I think, you know, marketing is always like a rolling stone. Like it's continuous, it's ongoing, like it's generating that buzz. Like I think definitely when it comes to like the big show, that is Keighley. You know, you can say, oh, wait, no, you can complain, you can whine. That's fact. That is literal fact.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean, you know, we've had plenty of people deviate, do their own shows. Nintendo obviously has like a lot of star power. I think a lot of people can be above. Like I think Death Stranding too would sell fine. Grand Theft Auto, of course. But again, the point of marketing is not about like, no one knows my game, let me show it. It's about getting your game out there, getting it out there strong, hitting these different marks. Like it is so much more complex than like just getting the word about your game out, which is why like GTA arguably doesn't need ads anywhere, right? They're GTA. But like of course they're gonna be running stuff everywhere. Of course they're gonna see them in the Super Bowl. Like, you know, like so I think that's a complicated question for that reason. I think a lot of the S tier games though, maybe not Marvel 1943, are like I could drop my own thing, just my name, and people will pull up.
Mm-hmm.
I think all of those S tier games are at that level, but they all could benefit and would benefit from being at Jeff's show.
Yeah.
Except for Marvel. Marvel, I think, needs to find some spot to be at. I think
it's desperate.
I don't think people are tuning in for 1943. Rise of Hydra.
They are rising though. There's no
Kingdom Hearts
doubt.
4 S tier. S tier.
S tier. Yep.
Yeah.
Keighley would be so excited to have this.
Hell yeah.
Do you think it's going to happen?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Maybe. It's not, because Kingdom Hearts is so funky because they're like, hey, here's like a drawing I have on a napkin. I'll see you in 12 years. And people will be like, let's go.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
they
like,
showed gameplay last time.
Yes,
it still is such a wild idea that they did show gameplay in that first trailer. In theory,
but what's interesting too is like Kingdom Hearts is in like almost kind of a good spot in terms of I think launching because it's like one of the few games where people are like, I know I'll never see you again, and I'm ready to see you when you're ready. Like people don't care about how long it's been really.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna get like Hollow Knight Silk Song, it's not direct opposite, but it's like people are banging on the door, clawing their way in. Like it's a bit intense. It's almost like too intense.
Well,
it's
like fans, they just walk through the desert before getting Kingdom Hearts 3. So I think they're just like, I'm expecting the desert again. If it's not the desert, whatever. So I who knows?
They're used to. They've already been broken.
Yes,
you know, like they don't care.
Husks of men.
They have no like it's like Joker territory. He just I don't know. They're just throwing rubies in the desert. They don't care.
Exactly.
They don't want the money.
And Square Enix is lighting that fire. I just heard you talk about rewatching Dark Knight on Remap.
So good. When's the last time you watched Dark Knight?
What a great question. All the way through, it's probably been a decade.
You have to. I know it's like, oh, you already know it's good because everyone knows it's good.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
What a night it was. That movie's so good.
That's so fun. Judas, new Ken Levine project. This is interesting. Been shown a couple times. He's obviously buddies with Ken Levine. It would be a good time for like an extended demo, I feel like. Judas is feeling B to me.
Yeah, I think B or S, because there's no A, because we made it ads.
Right.
Wait, how far out is this game?
They haven't said. In the interview for the Friends Per Second podcast, Ken Levine's like, it's ready when it's ready.
Yeah, I guess B, because it's like, it doesn't have, I think it was S when he showed it, but now it's probably more B kind of thing.
Yep. He was at the State of Play. Is that where it was last time? That's interesting.
I mean, he also had it, didn't he? Like, wasn't that, oh no, what?
I don't remember.
Yeah, didn't he have that? Like, he had that at one point, Judas? Am I hallucinating that?
No, it could be.
Didn't someone come out of like a tank or something?
I don't think that happened.
Hold on.
Snake says a new BioShock would be S. Yes, the BioShock game reveal would be S.
It was at the Game Awards too, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Now reveal was at TGA. Yeah, I saw it. Like someone came out of like a tank or something.
Oh, there we go.
Happened.
All right, what do you think about this one, Janet?
This was real.
This is a conundrum for me. I am fascinated by the lack of hype for Star Wars Outlaws. People seem very meh on this, but all the ingredients are like, isn't this what everybody wants? Yet zero hype as far as I can tell. And that's based on, polling the community for like, hey, what do you want us to talk about on the podcast this week? And like, no one wanted us to talk about Star Wars Outlaws. Nobody cared. Ubisoft tax, everyone's saying. So how excited would Keighley get? It's Star Wars. It's the big game this year. Ubisoft does have a show. They're probably going to be showing it at that show. So that's taken the wind out of the sails a little bit. But like story trailer, something like that for Keighley. Yeah, is this ad territory? Is Outlaws relegated to ads?
I think it's B, because I think ad for Star Wars Outlaw would be closer to like its actual dates or something. Like, I feel like B. And yes, Ubisoft does have the money, and It totally could. Like if it was an ad, I wouldn't be like, oh my god. And again, I don't think ad necessarily.
Oh my god.
I don't think ad necessarily denotes feeling about like the game. But I think the way we're kind of using it is like, oh, it doesn't really feel as powerful in the show. And while there is a lot of like Ubisoft, meh, oh, I'm tired, I don't want to go. Like at the end of the day, it's Star Wars. And also, y'all be buying them games. So like, let's not front. Like you might not want to hear about it, but you're gonna be at the GameStop. So like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, like, oh, I don't even like Star Wars by Ubisoft. You're gonna buy it. And they're gonna sell it, and you're gonna buy it. And you know, you can pretend like you don't care, but your dollar says otherwise.
Unless it's that Avatar game where nobody bought it. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, but no one cares about Avatar like that.
How
like,
dare
for a
you,
game
Janet?
This far out.
Sure. All right. What about this one? Here's an interesting one. Star Wars Eclipse. You know, we haven't seen gameplay. This is Quantic Dream's Star Wars game. We haven't seen gameplay for it. You think that'd be good? I do think Quantic Dream's cultural rep is low. And Keighley cares about that, obviously. He knows that people are less enthusiastic about...
I think it's an S.
He doesn't have David Cage to come out on stage. We don't know if there's... You think this is S?
Yeah, because it's like, it's interesting. I think historically, again, like, Jeff has cared about Quantic Dream. I think, sure, like, there is a lot of, like, bad vibes around Quantic Dream because of everything, but I don't think he cares enough about that. I don't think he'd highlight like, oh, I'm bringing David Cage on stage. And that'd be such an L. I don't think he would ever do that at this point. But
there's got to be some actor
this is the kind of game
you
see it, and then you're like, wow, this looks cool. And then you're like, ah, damn, it's Quantum Dream. I wish it wasn't. But by then you don't care. You already watched the trailer and you already enjoyed it. Oops, you caught you liking Quantum Dream.
Yeah. The last trailer was awesome. So String Bacon, watching us live on Twitch, they say 75% chance Eclipse gets canceled. I'm kind of in that camp, but I see Jeff showed off Eclipse right after a speech about how the industry should do better. He's fine with them, says Sparks. Last time it was shown. Okay. Yeah, so gameplay,
like, and, you know,
reveal.
It's messy stuff too. Like, it's not like, oh, Quantic Dream is evil. It's just that they've had a lot of like legal drama, like, you know, statements of like bad practices within the studio, and then there's a long history of like, hey, like, have you noticed that every David Cage game is like kind of weird with like the women? That's weird. You know, it's like that vibe. That's Quantic. If you're not familiar with people's feelings on Quantic Dream, but yeah, game looks cool.
All right,
it's big name.
Wow, S. All right, here's a funky one. Welcome to Marky Mark, because this is the funky bunch. Dragon Quest HD 2D remake. How excited would Keighley be to have an HD 2D remake on stage? This is Dragon Quest 3, to be clear, is what they've announced. And you get the Dragon Quest theme blasting through the auditorium. People would be popping for that. My kind of people. That said, we already know it exists. I don't know if footage is out there of it. Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D trailer. Would this be the first trailer? Did they just... Oh, no, there was a trailer. Okay.
I think you have it at the right spot. Because it's got a big name, but also it's like one of those games where it's at a weird spot. Because I feel like everyone that... Not literally, because obviously you're always getting new fans of things, but like everyone that cares about Dragon Quest already cares, and everyone else is like, oh yeah, like people care about that.
Yep. Now, if this was...
That's like the vibe.
But if this is Dragon Quest 12, I think that's nearing S tier in my mind.
I think so too, because it's like it has more of like heat and attention to it, where it's like, oh, you're gonna be almost like left out. Like there are those games where it's like, I know, like for me, like I know I don't play it, but I know like everyone's gonna be kind of like the Metaphor Refrontagio. Like I'm probably not gonna get to that, even if it's really good. I just laziness, tired. Like I'm not gonna get to it, but I know I'm like gonna be removing myself from a conversation, and I think same thing with like that Dragon Quest 12 or 13 or whatever, if that came out, versus this, it's like, oh, you could skip this and no one would care that much, you know, that you like didn't get around to it.
Someone points out with Toriyama passing this year, it would be a nice kind of tip of the cap. Keighley could do a little heartfelt message about Toriyama's art. That'd be something, but it still feels.
But I don't know if that raises it.
No, I think C is right.
In terms of like where he'd have it, and also, I mean, I think it'd be really cool if he did that. I don't know that he will, just because historically he hasn't really done a lot of nods. I also think passing acknowledgements usually are more suitable for like an awards or an end of the year, of which he doesn't have that either. So I just don't think I'd be a little surprised if we saw an acknowledgement of that, just because historically we've never seen that.
Okay. We got to, Raylaw says Keighley capitalizing on the cloud of a deceased man. That's Keighley essence right there. I mean, he does have that Game Awards Twitter account, right? Where it's just like, it's all about this person was in this game, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, for the last one here, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 DLC. This is a great conundrum. I think that's S tier.
I'm not gonna fight you on it because it's Spider-Man still.
It's DLC.
It's Spider-Man still.
It's still one of, if not Sony's best franchise rolling at this point. DLC could be exciting if it's Venom or whatever the hell it's gonna be. I think it was
people went wild too when they revealed the box art of of the game last year.
Yes.
We were like, wow, like look at the art. Even though it's like, I don't know, it's the box art, but like that got a pop. So, and that was like there in kind of a big way. So,
and people are saying, shouldn't that be at Sony's? Yes, it should be at Sony's. But this is about what Keighley wants in his essence, not predicting what's actually going to be at the show. It's completely different.
How much this feels of the flavor of what the show could be. I feel like, low key, I feel like this is the show. Also.
This might be the show, everybody. Thank you to everybody in the MinnMax community for submitting things over there in the MinnMax Discord. We still have a ton more. So, Janet, if people want to support us and vote for more episodes next week of Keighleycore, they can do that by jumping in at the $10 tier, the Backstage Pass tier, even just for 1 month. You can lock in your pick and let us continue this show. This show could go on the rest of the year. We could never stop talking about Keighley. We'd do this show for so long, Keighley would be forced to join us legally, I feel like.
Yeah, or shut us down.
Or shut us down. First. Yeah, whatever happens first. Well, Janet, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was very fun. I had a good time doing this.
It was fun. Jeff Keighley, thank you for being here. Oh, now he's
sorry,
silent?
he was muted.
Oh, yeah, it happens all the time. All right, thanks so much, everybody. Again, for our Summer Game Fest coverage, we'll be talking about it on the MinnMax Show podcast. We'll be streaming reaction streams, and then Janet and myself and Charles Hart will be actually out at the show. So we'll be talking all about that and making a travelogue about the whole experience. All right, thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you next time. Goodbye. Every week, we let Patreon supporters choose which new show we create with New Show Plus. Should we create another episode of the show you just watched? Check out the biggest new game release? Get into Sea of Thieves? Create an exercise show? It is your call. So thanks to everybody who subscribes on YouTube or supports us over on Patreon. MinnMax exists because of you. As always, if you enjoy MinnMax content, any help telling a friend is appreciated.